President Joe Biden was just a few counties away this afternoon.
He was celebrating auto workers at the Stellantis factory in Belvidere, Illinois, who, thanks to a settlement, will keep their jobs and see pay raises.
We'll bring in NBC 15 Shana Najau. And Shana, President Biden praised the auto workers this afternoon. He says they saved the industry through their ongoing efforts.
That's right. The workers picketed for 6 weeks, insisting on fair wages. Well, a deal was made and a new standard set, according to President Biden. The president gave full credit to the UAW, stating the historic deal will set a precedent for not only auto workers, but workers in industries across America. He says the agreement also gives him hope for the future, claiming the economy has seen the highest growth in 2 years and wages going up.
I'm fighting for a place like Belvidere because I came as a president determined to put an end to this trickle-down economics in this country. I mean, I'm serious. I'm deadly earnest. For too long, the wealthy and big corporations have done just fine, but the rest of us were cut out of that deal.
1,200 Stellantis employees lost jobs when the plant idled. Now the auto workers will see an increase in wages with cost for living adjustments, bigger pay increases over the next 4.5 years, and greater retirement security. Live in the studio, Shana Najau, NBC 15 News.